welcome people into the faith, but not be able to afford them coming to your country, financially speaking. Yeah, and that's, you know what, that's what it is. You have to. It's like the saying that goes that if you give fish to a person, you have to always give them fish. But if you teach them how to fish, you don't have to just give them more fish. They can help themselves. It's that kind of approach to. We cannot keep bringing third world migrants. Third world just mean poor. Poor people have great value. Rich doesn't mean good. No. See, no. Third world just mean poor. No. You can still be poor and have great value. Good point. The problem is that the majority is that a lot of these third world, their value is not even related with Christianity value. El Salvador was a good example of this. El Salvador was very dangerous. El Salvador it was one of the most dangerous countries in the Western Hemisphere. Until Bukele came in and just started enforcing the law. If these people were so good in value, guys, a lot of these third world countries would not be third world. I'm sorry.
It goes to show how in Western society today we are living in two completely alternate realities, largely based on the media.
Nah, I don't believe that. Unless you can provide like a burst in context, I don't believe what you're saying.
That we are consuming, where you genuinely see this belief parroted among very mainstream Christians that the teachings and the policies of someone like Kamala Harris, who actively told Christians at her own rally, you folks are at the wrong rally, please leave, there is no place for you here, that her policy would have been better for the United States of America. This is a woman who championed the abortion of more than 1 million per year in the United States of America, including through all 9 months of pregnancy and partial birth abortion,
which Bible's is not against abortion.
What we believe in the
same. You're saying, do you have data to prove this? What are the Western values? Transgenderism, feminism, atheism, third world are religious and conservative. Are we talking about what kind of third world is? Because there's a lot of third world that are just savages, tribes that like to just eat each other. Yeah, I can use the same logic against you, right? Western transgenderism is just an atheistic movement. A lot of these are atheistic movement. Feminism is the atheistic movement. It has nothing to do with Christianity. That's not a Western value. It's just an atheistic value. Right? Christianity built the West. Right? The music, the arts, the architecture was influenced by Christianity. We took Christianity out of the school. Even in Europe, they call a lot of these countries the first atheistic countries. So it's not Christianity. What you see right now is not Christianity, because Christianity is against most of those values. So that argument doesn't make any sense.
Especially as the Catholic Church, I should know myself, and maybe it's time to crack open a catechism to remind ourselves of that.
Abortions are legal and free in Israel right now. Judaism doesn't ban them.
Promoting actual immigration policy
from that very Christian nation of Israel.
And when it comes to centering immigration policy,
Christ's religion doesn't ban abortion.
It starts with stopping the horrifying human trafficking of children and the rape of babies and toddlers that happens on the southern border every day. When it starts by lifting people out of poverty, it starts by giving people actual positions of employment that give them a long-term trajectory for financial success. These are Christian values, but our twisted, disgusting media in America and beyond has allowed for a very inverse reaction from Christians to believe in this version of toxic empathy where we are supposed to tolerate and endorse.
Like toxic empathy right there. There you go. There you go. Toxic empathy. I like that. Because that's literally summarizes what is going on right now with Christians. We just simply have to take it because we're Christian. And they guilt us. Are you not a Christian? You're supposed to care for... No, man, we're not playing that game anymore. Our society is being degraded. Our society is being just basically destroyed because they taking advantage of Christianity for the same culture that there's no evidence that I have seen that can show empathy to Westerners. The best example of this guy is just simply Zimbabwe and South Africa. As soon as these people or those people took over, they just started deleting the Christians. Are you saying, Leviticus, the foreigners residing among you must be treated as your neighbor born? Don't think as yourself. You were foreigner in Egypt. I'm a Lord, your God. Hey, good point. Love them, right? treating as a native born, but doesn't mean that I have to welcome into my own society. And it doesn't mean that I have to welcome them to my own society. I don't have to. We don't have to. We don't have to. We don't have to. And the question is, anti-YouTube thread question: are you a Christian? Are you a Christian? And if you're a Christian, would you be okay with this third world migrant just be living around you? Let's keep it honest. Would you be okay with the level of dangers? Foreigners that reside among you means you have to welcome them. No, I don't have to welcome anybody, man. No, I'm not playing that anymore. What Jesus meant by welcome the foreigner into the nation is the nation of Israel, the nation of God under his law. It does not mean in the modern sense of immigration specific country. Yes, I'm an Orthodox Christian. How are you an Orthodox Christian and you're saying that? So you're an Orthodox Christian. So that means that it's okay for you to bring. Would you be okay with just these people from third world just living around you in an Orthodox Christian household? People that don't understand your religion, or people from India that don't understand your religion, they start pooping in your street. They just start, moving a huge Buddhist tower or whatever. Would you be okay? Does that even make sense? Does that even make sense?
Evil, and call that following Christ. And I think the last few weeks have been a really powerful example for Christians around the world to realize we no longer can tolerate demonic evil in the spiritual warfare.
How did you feel, Isabel? Isabel, how did you, just on that point, how did you feel when at Charlie Kirk's memorial, his widow, Erica, made an incredibly powerful announcement of forgiving the killer of her husband, but then Donald Trump followed and said he hates his enemies and is still trying to work on the forgiveness bit? What did you feel? I mean, as a Christian, what did you feel about that? The two exchanges?
Yeah, sure.
Saying, yeah, third world people are Christian and great people. I live around Ethiopian Christian and they're great, much more religious and moral than my own people. Yeah, but the evidence is not suggesting. They're not suggesting what you're saying. See, you want to see the good in people. I understand. But these people from Somalia, these people from Ethiopia, when they come to the United States, they're not only bringing the religious aspect of it, but they're bringing their culture, and their cultures are not compatible throughout the West. A lot of these people that come to the West, they're not compatible. They're stealing. They're not keeping their areas clean. Right? Some of them, even though they're Christian, they're still committing a lot of crime. They're not compatible. Christianity is not only the religion itself, it's just the cultural aspect, and that goes not only to our belief system, it goes through art, music, infrastructure, and system of governance. This is the part that you're missing. See, by believing in God, it's not enough if you're not sharing the God of the gospel through those all the areas: art, infrastructure, music, value. They commit less crime. They're educated. They're religious. You're wrong. I'm wrong. So you're telling me right now Ethiopian is a great place to be. There's no crime. These people in Ethiopia don't commit crime. Okay.
If you listen to the president's full speech, he goes on.
They don't. Okay, they don't
to
commit
laugh
crime.
about that, and it clearly was delivered as a.
How am I wrong? Yeah, how am I wrong? They commit less crime. They're educated. They're religious. You're wrong. I'm wrong. Refutate. Prove me that I'm wrong. Prove me that when you say Ethiopians, right, or other people, it doesn't matter. Ethiopian Americans were the high density, or Ethiopian Americans, they're very, how can I say this? They're a very safe society. I want to see that data. But the last time that I checked, Ethiopians still African Americans. Ethiopian Americans. They committed a crime as soon as they came here illegally. So literally, you're wrong. Yeah, if they came here illegally, they're committing a crime. 100% a crime. That
joke. I'm not here to speak for the president.
Oh no, I think he meant it.
But I
don't think he was
say,
joking.
just based on every single speech that was given at that event other than the president's. And if you took the time to watch all 6 hours of it, you can see this was not a rah right-wing political rally. Every single speaker, including President Trump, took their time on stage to spread the gospel, to share love of God, to say we can no longer be afraid of proclaiming our faith in the world based on potential political backlash. And I saw one particular take that really bothered me from Destiny, who I know has been a common guest here on the Piers Morgan show, of people saying, you know, this was indicative of a Nazi rally. This was completely indistinguishable from a Nazi rally led by Adolf Hitler. I don't know the last time a Nazi rally encouraged you to forgive your enemies and the people who violently assassinate your husband.
Well, also,
only one speaker did.
Well, hang on, just to be clear, also, there were a lot of Jewish people at this so-called Nazi rally, which a bit like the Madison Square Garden rally before the election, when they tried to call that the new version of the 1938 rally at MSG. It was completely absurd. There was actually a Holocaust survivor sitting in the front row. Let me come back on this issue, if I may, John, to your book and your interpretation of Christian nationalism. I want to just quote the definition that you give of it on page 20 of your book. At its core, Christian nationalism is the belief that the United States was founded as a Christian nation and should remain one today, with laws and policies guided by a particular vision of Christianity. Unlike ordinary religious faith, which is personal and spiritual, Christian nationalism is political. It merges national identity with religious identity, insisting to be a true American is to be a true Christian and vice versa. I mean, I suppose.
And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with just admitting that the United States was built in Christian value? And this is the same dude that is going to allow Muslims and a lot of these crazy different religions to come to the United States and just basically conquer the United States. And this dude is going to just basically bend down and just say it's okay. You see what I'm saying? These are the Christians that are probably in the United States where they are okay other religions coming in and just basically just dominate us.
What I would say to that is, America historically has been a Christian country. 62% of Americans today are Christian, which is nearly 2/3 of 90% the country.
In the 90s.
Yeah, but my point being that it is still a large majority Christian nation. So
yes,
the idea that the idea that all of them are being political.
Look at him. He looks, by that stat, he's so happy. He's so happy.
Is Christian nationalism.
The
idea that large majority Christian nation. So
yes,
the idea that all of them are being political by identifying as Christian nationalists.
Didn't say that.
No, I'm just saying if you extrapolate your statement that the Christian nationalism is political, all those people would identify, I would think, as Christian nationalists, right? Uncensored is supported by OneSkin, a self-care business.
No care.
Today's show is brought to you by Oxford Natural, makers of the Optimum Day and Optimum Night all-natural supplements. Thousands of Brits and Americans are already taking them with incredible results.
Okay. All right.
Optimum Day.
Pierce, I'm glad that's the case.
Well, only about 30% of the country identifies with the main traits of Christian nationalism, and yet they make up 2/3 of the Supreme Court. But it is a very powerful movement that seeks to insert...
It should be 100% of the Supreme Court. Like... Okay, I mean, some of these people are just very, 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 very smart in the way they play words. Our Constitution was literally built by the mindset, the cultural landscape of Christianity. If you wanna declaim that, that's fine, but that's the reality. It should be, in my personal opinion, it should be 100% Christian.
A very narrow, again,
yeah, you have to sell it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to
Christ-free version of Christianity onto every level of our government. The Founding Fathers were very thorough about this. Our official religion is all and or none. And if you are fighting against other religions because you think you're superior because of Jesus, then you don't actually follow Jesus, because his entire...
Are you even Western European? You look Hispanic. Even if let's say I'm not even Western European, I look Hispanic. How does that matter? How does that matter? Let's say I have no European blood on me. How does that matter?
The entire movement was about humility, uplifting the less fortunate.
I'm not going to say, but I want you to respond.
For the marginalized, not total right-wing domination of politics or the school board. Again, I don't see any actual teachings of Christ that the right wing fights for. The only thing Donald Trump and Jesus have in common is they both spent a lot of time around hookers and they both use ghostwriters.
All right, Andrew. Andrew.
Because you seem to think non-whites are bad. Listen, dude. Hispanic, I don't know what you mean Hispanic. Like, I speak Spanish. Yes, I speak Spanish. I'm a Hispanic because I speak Spanish. I mean, some of you guys use some terms that it makes no difference. Makes no sense. Hispanic meaning like what? I speak Spanish. I speak Italian, Portuguese. What do you mean? Like, yes, I'm a majority white in my blood, but that has nothing to do with anything. Me, it's not that I don't like non-white. It's that I'm tired of just being untruthful. I'm tired of the lies. We have a problem of non-white people just basically not assimilating to Western society. Hispanic meaning mestizo, Amerindian. No, it's mestizo. I don't know what you're saying. Like Hispanic, mestizo, or Amerindian. I have some Taino blood on me, but it has nothing to do with that. My point is that the problem is that a lot of these people come to these Western societies and they're lacking assimilation. That's the problem. And I'm not going to just go behind the door. I'm not going to cover this. I'm just going to tell the truth. Yeah, Hispanic so basically means Spain. Like, I'm not even that. People that speak Spanish. People that speak Spanish or Portuguese or even Italians. Like, we are 55% white, Anglo-Sax white. But we like 70% like all around. We're still a huge white majority country because people like me somehow are not white for some reason. It's just stupid. Yeah, it's like Spaniards are not white for some reason. No, it doesn't. That's a lie of Hispanism. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Really Andrew, let me just ask you a question, which is this.
Happy to talk about Scripture, by the way. Happy to talk about what Christ actually says versus Republican policies.
Me too.
Okay, Andrew, my question for you would be this. Under Christian...
Yeah, Matt, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I'm not... if you have... Let's say, if you have a Spanish last name, I guess you're Hispanic. Some of these people, like, you can be white as... Bro, in Puerto Rico, right? That's where I'm from, originally. From the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. There's a lot of white population there. Like, a lot of Hispanic and Spaniard. A lot of Spaniards and French whites there. Like, pale whites. And some Irish. And they're still considered Hispanic. These people are whiter than this, and they still consider Hispanic just because they have a Hispanic last name. You're not a white guy. Sure. You know what? I'm African, I guess.
Nationalism. What happens to Jews, Muslims, Hindus, atheists? I mean, what happens to those people if the identity of the...
So an African American can be 30% black. He can consider himself African, but you are 60+% white. You're still not white. Okay, I got it, bro. You got me. You got me, man.
The United States is to be a Christian nationalist country. Then where does that leave people who don't identify as Christian nationalists?
Yeah, same thing that happens when you have state religions in nations right now. Nothing. So there's Western nations, people forget about this, that have churches. They actually have the church of whatever the nation is. And guess what? You're still free to pray how you want. Guess what? Here in the United States, when it's 95% Christian, identified 95% as Christian, you can still be a Jew. You can still be a Muslim.
They're under siege, right? They're persecuted, right?
That would be a bonus in our favor that we're not doing the persecuting, doofus. So the thing is, it's so funny here. It's like even when we have full spectrum, dominance.
Puerto Ricans are mixed, and we tell you don't look European like me. Sure, man. Hey, man, good for you, bro. Puerto Ricans are mixed, and we tell you, bro, sure, no problem. You, I guess you're one of these people that say Spain is not Europe. Yeah, Italians are not Europeans. Got it, bro. Got it.
Jesus called people vipers like you. Even when we have full spectrum dominance in culture.
He was calling out the conservative religious bosses when he did that, my friend.
We are far better and leadership capacities than secular atheists are. Guys like this, their entire
you should be in power, right?
The entire
power for the Christian, yes, power above others,
crux
yes,
of what you want is
what you
just
fight
gay
for.
sex.